Evening, so we're back at it again. This time I'm going to take a look inside the back axle. I hadn't really planned to do one on the back axle, but I've been asked a couple of times about it, and it was due sort of a mini check over, so I thought I'd pull the diff out and get a look at it for you. I think I mentioned before that I run a gripper LSD. This gripper LSD was only new there on the crown wheel and pinion, which is a 4.6 crown wheel and pinion. They've done about 250 stage kilometers at the minute, so this is a mini check over basically, which involves pulling the diff out, cleaning the teeth of the crown wheel and the pinion and the axle, which I'll show you in a minute, and making sure there's no hairline cracks or fractures using the trusty magnifying glass. Now, it's not an exact science by any means. I don't send them away to get crack tests or anything. When this has done 500-600 stage kilometers, it'll get a new crown wheel and pinion, no questions asked. I used to run a 4.1 and maybe a 4.4 crown wheel and pinion, probably a wee bit stronger, but a good bit more expensive. So I went back to a 4.6 because I was changing them in sort of the same intervals anyway. More readily available, a little bit cheaper to buy, and changed the drop gear in the gearbox that I showed you in the last video. So that left me, I got back to the same ratios. The gripper's quite good. Rarely have any trouble with them at all. I keep a kit for them anyway. They have 8 diving plates and 10 of the sandwich plates, or that's what I call them, and 2 bevel washers. So they're fairly straightforward to revamp, as long as you're happy that you haven't damaged anything in the casing. Generally, if I do break a crown wheel and pinion, that means the diff has to be replaced. You usually will have tweaked one of the end bearing stubs or something, and somewhere down the line you'll have bother there. Something that a few people do that I'm surprised at is that they tend to, where this bearing slides on and off, obviously that's where your shims are, top and bottom, to do your backlash. It's a pain in the arse pressing them off and on, and that's just the way it is. But some people sandpaper that down or emery cloth it down so they can slide it off and on by hand easy. But you tend to then get bearing spin and you'll wear out the shims, because there's only a wee way for shims in there, and a lot of people then get trouble with that. So it's something I wouldn't recommend doing. So that's the diff. The crown wheel, or sorry, the pinion and the axle itself in there. On this check over, I don't take it out. I just wash it off and check it around again on the magnifying glass and make sure there's no hairline cracks. That's usually where I have picked them up before, where they're starting to let go. If you see anything that looks like a hair or indentation or anything, you don't mess with it, you change it. It's not worth the hassle. So I've given that a good check over, and I'll check it over a bit more just to make sure I'm happy with it. Easy enough to pop out. Obviously you have your bolts around the aluminium back plate, and just pop the half shafts out. Fully floater is easy to pop them out and pull her apart. Give you a good chance to change your oil as well. I usually drop the 2 4-links off the bottom and tip the axle up so that everything comes out, and then when you're washing everything off, you're getting all your crap out of there. It's amazing how dirty and crappy the oil gets in such a short period of time. I will do a small video and put it in the comments just when I have this back in, of the way I measure the backlash, just so you can see that it's fairly simple to do as well when you have the right tools to do it. So that's it. I think that's pretty much all you need to know about a crown wheel and pinion and a gripper diff. Until the next siege, everybody stay well.